Before I talk about the FA Cup final, of course, a lot of people have known this Spygate thing between Southampton and Middlesbrough. Of course, a lot of people, you know this. With the whole controversy between, the coaching staff. One of the members of the coaching staff of Southampton went, just to clarify people if people don't know this. 2 days before the first leg championship playoff semi-final between Middlesbrough and Southampton, a member of the coaching staff of Southampton went to the training ground of Middlesbrough, traveling all the way back from Southampton to Middlesbrough to watch them play, to watch how they train, and he recorded what he was wearing an airpod. He recorded a video of them training, and he mic'd up even what were the coaching staffs were saying. So he not only he was able to record how they were training, also to record what were the coaching staff were able to say. Like, first of all, why do you have to do this? Like, why doesn't do like, if I'm a player of Southampton and I look at this what happened, and by the way, I feel sorry for Southampton fans and players, because they are not in control of this situation. It's not in their control. It's not what they did. It's not got nothing to do with them. But at the same time, if I'm a Southampton player as well, I'm looking at that and think, do you guys don't trust us? That you guys have to cheat to win? You guys have to cheat, so that means you don't trust us to win against Middlesbrough? You don't trust us? Like, if I'm not wrong, before this game, Southampton were like 20 games unbeaten or something, and this is the same Southampton side that beat Fulham, that beat Arsenal, who could win the Premier League, in FA Cup, and competed with really well with Manchester City in FA Cup semi-final. If I'm a Southampton player, I'm looking at this. I think you guys don't think we can win. You guys think that we are not that good. That you guys think that we need to cheat to win. It's in my opinion, it's also a bit of a lack of respect from the coaching staff of Southampton to the players. In my opinion, it's that, because if you're 20 games unbeaten, yes, Middlesbrough might be a good side. They're a good team, and they're the reason they were in the playoffs. But like, we're 20 games unbeaten. Why can't we do it ourselves? Why don't we trust in ourselves to win? Why do we have to cheat? And they were playing at home in the second leg. Like, why do you have to cheat? Why? You're a good team. You beat Arsenal. You beat Fulham. You compete well with Man City, and you were 21 games unbeaten. Why do you have to cheat? Why? And since the Southampton manager, who before he came in, I believe Southampton were in a relegation battle in the Championship. Since he came in, they were performed really well, and they went in a fantastic run, and they're in the playoffs. Why don't they trust themselves? Why don't the coaching staff of Southampton trust themselves to say, yeah, we can win, yeah, we can beat them, yeah, nobody's better than us? Why do you have to cheat? Why do you have to do that? And I feel sorry for not only for Southampton players and fans. I also feel sorry for the Middlesbrough, the manager, fans, and players, because you guys saw what you look at what Middlesbrough manager said after the game. He said that imagine you put all this work, all this effort, hours and hours and hours studying what they do and training and so on, and instead you get all of this taken away because of someone spying you from the opposition. It's cheating. And I feel sorry for. I completely agree with the Middlesbrough manager's judgment. Why can't you? Like, I agree. Why can't you? Why can't you do it by yourself? Why can't Southampton win it by themselves? Why do they have to cheat? Why? And obviously, this whole Spygate thing has created a lot of controversy. It's similar to the Spygate one in 2019 of Leeds United, where they actually got a fine. However, the rules changed then, so that means this kind of things don't happen again. However, it happened again. So as the rules changed, I think, in my opinion, Southampton cannot play the playoff final. They cannot play the playoff final against Hull City. But the problem is the playoff final is on what, 23rd of May? And the Spygate hearing will take place on or before Tuesday, 19th of May. And this is not only causing a damage to Southampton's image, this is not only causing a damage to Middlesbrough, this is also causing a damage to Hull City, because they're preparing for one of the biggest games of their lives. The players, the managers, the fans, they're preparing for one of the games of their life, a chance to go to the Premier League for the first time in 2017, and yet they don't know who they will face in the final. And this is causing damage to Hull City, because you're like, I don't know who am I gonna play against, because when you're a player, when you play faster, when you play Hull City, you want to know which defender you're gonna face against. You want to know which attacker you're gonna face against. You want to know which midfielder you're gonna face against. So you all day long, all week, you think about it. Okay, he does this, he does that. Okay, I look at this, I look at that. He does this. Okay, I have to do this and that. And the coach as well. The coach will tell to the players, okay, this is where they play. They go like they play attacking football. They run this and that, and they do this in terms of tactics and so on. And go into detail. And this is not only causing a damage to those two clubs, like I mentioned, Middlesbrough and Southampton. It's also causing a damage to Man City, because they don't know who they're going to face in the final. This is because they don't know who they're going to face in the final, and it's getting, the whole saga is getting a bit silly. It has to be resolved very quickly. Yes, it's a very serious matter, but at the same time, it's spying. You look at the guy who was recording he was spying on the other team, one of the members of the coaching staff of Southampton. It's not like he tried to hide himself from recording what they do. It was shown. It was shown. He was behind the tree. It was shown. It was shown. He didn't do a great job of hiding. He did a terrible job of hiding. So it's clear that it was spying. It's clear, and that means Southampton should be thrown out of the final. They should not play the playoff final. In my opinion, what the EFL should do is kick Southampton out of the playoff final and give the win to Hull City, or kick Southampton out and let Middlesbrough play the final against Hull City. In my opinion, what's better? In my opinion, it's better to let Middlesbrough play the final against Hull City. Why? Because Middlesbrough, they played against 2 games against Southampton. They're the victims of this. They're the victims, and rightly, and they have a right to complain about that. They have a right, or more than a right, to complain, because they're trying to get Premier League football, and you've got these teams, spying on you. It's cheating. It's cheating. So, and I'm sorry, if Southampton get kicked out of the playoff final, I don't have any sympathy from the coach, and from any coaching staff of the Southampton, because why do you have to cheat to win? Why, when you're playing that really well? Yes, I know you want to do everything you can to win. I know you want to have an approach to win at all costs. But when you're 20 games unbeaten, when you're 22 games unbeaten, when you beat when you beat Arsenal and beat Fulham, and you nearly beat Man City, why do you have to cheat? Why? If you're a team that, let's say, it's in a low budget and playing against a top team, right? And you don't have the resources of the other team, and this team beats you a couple of times, and they're a much better team than you, then yeah, I kind of understand it. But Southampton are a good team. They did what they did in the FA Cup. Why did they have to cheat? Why? For what reason? And wasting all this time to go from the 6 hours of Southampton to Middlesbrough, to all of this, to record of all of this, for cheating, to put you in trouble for all of this. I'm sorry. Like, I have no sympathy for Southampton coaching staff. Absolutely no sympathy at all. If Southampton get thrown in the playoff final, they'll deserve what they will get. Maybe not the fans and the players, of course, because I feel sorry for them and it's not their control. But the coaching staff, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Now let's move on to the FA Cup final. As Chelsea against Manchester City for the FA Cup final, a big game for both clubs. Chelsea are trying to obviously save their season. There's disasters of a season after they had a poor season in the Premier League, knocked out of the Carabao Cup, out of the FA Champions League. They're in the final of the FA Cup, despite they had a poor season. They're not going to get European football. They're not going to finish 7th, 8th in the Premier League, most likely. So the only way they get European football next season is to win the FA Cup. And to be honest, whether Chelsea play European football next season or not, it doesn't matter to them, because, and rightly so, because if they get European football, will not fix all the shambles that they have on what they fix on, what they should fix on. It will not fix all the problems. And Chelsea, yes, it might salvage their season winning the FA Cup. And Callum McFarlane, his team, he was in charge of Chelsea the last time they played on January, where they played against Man City, and he was in charge, and they drew 1-1. They compete well that game, so maybe Chelsea could get something from that game. City sometimes can be defensively vulnerable, so this is something Chelsea could exploit. And it's a one-off game; anything can happen. And for sure, those players of Chelsea will be up for it. They will give everything they have. It's not like they're not going to give any fight. It's an FA Cup final. If you go to the FA Cup final in Wembley and you don't give everything you have, I'm sorry, then you're playing for the wrong sport, for the wrong club. Because when you play for a big club like Chelsea, you have to give everything, especially in the FA Cup final. And they have to, because they're playing against a very good team, a quality team like Manchester City. Man City, unlikely. Who knows what could happen to Arsenal? But unlikely they're going to win the Premier League. So they have a chance to win their second trophy this season. They won the Carabao Cup, and they have a chance to win another trophy, which is the FA Cup. And if they win if they win the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, but they don't win the Premier League, Champions League, it wouldn't be a bad season for City, because let's not forget this is also kind of a rebuilding squad from Guardiola, Man City. But at the same time, of course, it's always a disappointment for City's high standards under Guardiola if they don't win the Premier League or the Champions League. Even though I predicted City to win the Premier League at the start of the season, I predict that because obviously, Guardiola has a great record of not going back-to-back seasons without winning the title. And City, whenever they have a bad season, they always get motivated and they come back stronger next season. They did come back stronger this season, but it's not enough. Will not be enough, most likely, at the same time. But yeah, they're the favourites to win this FA Cup final. It's their fourth consecutive FA Cup final in a row, which is incredible for Man City. They won the FA Cup in 2023. They lost the FA Cup final against Man United, and they lost last year's FA Cup final against Crystal Palace. They should win this game against Chelsea, as they're a better team than Chelsea. However, it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. In cup finals, anything can happen. And if you're not up for it in a cup final, then you'll get punished. City were heavy favourites against United in 2024. They lost that final. They were heavy favourites against Crystal Palace last season, and they also lost that final. So, as much as City should win this game, as much as City are the huge favourites in this game, it does not mean Chelsea cannot win, because it's a one-off game. Anything can happen, and Chelsea in this kind of big games, they can step up. You look at the Club World Cup final. Even though Club World Cup final doesn't mean a lot, they beat Paris Saint-Germain 3-0, where Paris Saint-Germain are a much better team than Chelsea. So it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. Strange things can happen very, very quickly. So it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. But those Chelsea players need to put a very good fight. They need to put a very good fight. They need to make it very difficult. They need to be very, very competitive to Man City. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for them to. They need to be up for it, and Chelsea need to have almost like a perfect performance, and they need to be up for it, and they can have it because it's an FA Cup final at Wembley. Anything can happen. City's weaknesses are there to exploit, so I think Chelsea can exploit them. Obviously, with the quality that City have, the attack, and Chelsea's defensive frailties sometimes, that will for sure help City, and City could have a good chance of scoring a couple of goals. However, Colwell most likely is playing this game in FA Cup final. He got back. He was back for the Liverpool game last week, so that kind of could give an advantage to Chelsea in this game, because obviously, he was brilliant for Chelsea last season in the Club World Cup, and for sure, his injury kind of gave a big blow to Chelsea's defensive frailties. Because Colwell is a very good centre back, and you could say he's Chelsea's best centre back. You could say so. Yeah. But at the same time, even though City are a better team and they should win, Chelsea should be up for it, and I'm pretty sure they'll be up for it. They've got quality players who can do something, magic for them. The likes of Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer. Even though he's not had a good season for Chelsea, he's not had a good season at all this season. Not a lot of goals, open play. But it's a big game, and in finals, Cole Palmer has a habit of sometimes stepping up as well. So this is a big game for him to show what he's made of, and also Enzo Fernandez and the rest of the Chelsea players. It's a chance for Haaland to step up as well, because he's not had a good record in cup finals as well. So it's a chance for him to step up as well. So yeah, big game for both clubs. Guardiola, I'm pretty sure Guardiola and City will be motivated to win this final because obviously they lost the FA Cup final last year and the year before, so they should be motivated to win this one. And Chelsea, despite that the poor season, they have a chance to at least save their season for a bit to win the FA Cup. My last prediction, I'm going for 2-1 win for Man City. That's it, guys. Thank you. I wish you have a nice day. See you next time. And don't forget to hit share and subscribe for this video. And have a nice day. Bye.